Hey you guys, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. This is another episode of Sits with Sid. This week I'm here with my sister Tarea. I call her Tarea when I'm really mad. I'm just and we are here in Colorado Springs, just enjoying the rainy day. Gonna sit and have a conversation. Well, it's gloomy. It was bitch. I was in my little box car on the highway.
Windy as
it was terrible. But we're just actually going to come to you this week and talk to you about sibling loss. Our brother died, 4 years ago.
July 28th, 2018.
It's crazy. That time just like doesn't stop when they leave us. But we're going to come talk to you about all of that. How we've just dealt with it, how it impacted us as a family, as siblings, and how we continue to just get through it. So I'll start it off by saying that death was definitely something that brought us together, I would say, because we were like beefing. I feel like when
we were all beefing, everybody was beefing. I had just cut her phone off. My daddy had me blocked. Our little sister was emotional and pregnant.
Yeah.
Savon was in his own little world, but he was there. Mom and Bubs, they had just got back from Alaska. Like, it was just so
a lot was
much.
happening.
It was a lot. But yeah, that day. Do we talk about that day or?
I feel like it's more triggering probably for her, for you, because of the responsibility of it all to just make sure nobody found out on Facebook is really hard. No, it's still recording as long as it's blinking.
Well, I think just like from a big siblings perspective, for other people that are in my position as a big sibling or older sibling, it was hard because having to set my emotions and my feelings aside to call you guys, figure out how to get a hold of this bitch, was just a lot for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I didn't deal with it at that time. And I don't think anybody does because it's just such a blur.
Right.
But I think more so me, not to be selfish or anything, but like I had to literally like suck this shit up. Like, It's already on Facebook. Like, your siblings are gonna wake up and see this shit. Fuck no. So I'm calling Teresa. Dominique's looking at me like, what the fuck is going on? Because we're literally at IHOP with the kids when I get the information. You know what I mean? And mind you, they have been contacting me since it happened at 2 a.m. But whoever was trying to call me via Facebook wasn't my Facebook friend, so the call wasn't coming
to your
through.
request.
Yeah. So I didn't see it until a mutual friend a friend of mine got in contact with me, one of his cousins or whatever. But yeah, having to put my feelings aside and just really get a hold of you guys and trying to get a hold of Dad, and Dad's like, nah, like, what's going on? Like, and then getting off the phone with his cousin and was just like, y'all are playing with me, like, I'm gonna fuck you up, like, this isn't funny, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta call you back. And so right away I'm like, I'm friends with Nobi, call Nobi. And call Nobi and hear his auntie answer and hear Nobi in the background screaming just confirmed my worst fucking nightmare. But that was definitely hard. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it was like a big blur. The funeral was trash.
We're literally scarred from funerals. Like, we won't go to another. I mean, I personally, I'm like, you gotta be my mama, my daddy, or another sibling. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry, and I don't wish that on me for a long years to come, because to think that like I was a part of some like my ghetto production or something was literally
awful. The most ghettoest thing I've ever experienced in my life. And I don't blame anybody. I don't think nobody knew it was gonna take part like that, and I don't know what was going on prior to Jamari's. I know a lot of deaths had been happening, but my brother's celebration of life wasn't the time to address the gun violence in Wichita, I don't feel like. So I feel like he needed to be honored in a whole different way, and I'm still to this day so mad that Dominique held me down, like, don't get up. And the fact that I was in a church with so many guns on me, my little person, because my brother was murdered.
Right.
I'm taking my little sister, my little brother, and my pregnant little sister, and my distraught father who's ready to go at any motherfucking time,
right,
to the same place that we are not from. We could be shaking the motherfucking hands with the motherfucker. Don't touch me. Don't talk to me.
We didn't know. And I think, like, for me personally, I have had to just compartmentalize that part of his death away. Like, I don't need to know the culprit. I don't need to know who murdered. And it's not, I don't even deal with those feelings till now. Like, now, after seeing, you know, a school get shot up by somebody, am I triggered by gun violence? I'm like, is there something more that we can do? Because it's different when you've had somebody lost to gun violence, but you're also a person who's like, oh no, I still gotta keep that thing on me. Like, I'm not the person out here saying I lost somebody and nobody should be able to carry a gun anymore. We believe more so because we lost somebody to gun violence.
I carry everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
And I think that position on it isn't talked about enough. And I know that
was really hard for me though. Like, just the conversation that I had with Jamarius prior to everything, and then the position that I was put in, and then, you know, Savon feeling some type of way. He's our little brother. Just because I had my nephew, like, it was just so much, you know what I'm saying? Like, right. Families trying to jump on something, like, it was just a lot. And I felt like I handled my situation and my position as his big sister the way that he would wanted me to.
Yes,
the way that he fuck everybody else, for real.
Right.
At the end of the day, I don't care what nobody has to say. I felt like I did what I needed to do at that specific time, the way that he would want me to. Yeah. And that's the only thing that gives me peace. On top of, you know, he looks so peaceful. I was scared as fuck to go up there, and I was so adamant. Dad, I was about to go by myself. Y'all weren't there yet. Dad was like, I'm not going to the viewing. I'm like, nigga, that's what I drove out here for?
We didn't go to the viewing.
No. But the next day, I went to the viewing because I felt like I needed that closure. But I went with the acknowledgement that there was no open casket. Our nephew was
there. The communication chain was just totally broken.
It was just so ghetto.
It was broken. And I knew it was one of those things. It was a thing I needed to see in my life, where it was so pivotal to me, because I'm 25 right now and I have life insurance on me, on my husband, and my 3 kids, and I'm gonna get it on my parents, because I had to go to places in our community and literally ask for donations. And I've watched my parents do that for years and years and years on end, and do that for their friends, strangers.
GoFundMe.
They do it, and we are not. It was one of those things for all of us. We're like, we're not a GoFundMe family anymore. Like, we're not
gonna depend on the community or who fucks with us for real on social media
to buy a plate.
No, we're gonna set it to where y'all can bury us properly. I personally don't care for a funeral, and they know that. So
don't come for me, okay?
If you ain't invited, we'll worry about
she has a list, okay?
I'm haunting everybody, literally haunting everybody. But that's just my personal wishes. But I don't want it to where my kids are like, oh, well, I didn't know that mom was stuck, because people don't think about that. They don't think about how much death. Your debt don't go away because you dead.
No.
It passes down to the next person of your kin. So if you ain't got a husband or a wife, it passes down to your children. Right. And then now that becomes that burden of them. Yeah. And that is just not, it's just such a broken cycle. And I don't want to get too off topic of, you know, the whole point of the conversation, but it's just, it literally shook us. For us personally, I don't know. For my other siblings, I'm sure Taisha, you know, Teresa has all that set up for her and the kids, but we don't have a Teresa for real. So we got to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
So it definitely put a perspective in us to get on our shit and make sure that when it is our time, because unfortunately everybody has to go.
Right. We all got a date.
But we're going to leave something, a part of us behind, a big part of us behind, which is our children.
Right.
So we got to make sure that they are A1 straight when we are gone. And I wish my brother got to, he was on the right path doing
he had a salary
everything.
job. We were so proud. Oh my god. He was pissed about that overtime.
No, he said not overtime, but he said, nigga, you only get paid once a month. I was like, yeah, nigga, when you on salary, you only get weekly, bi-weekly checks, nigga, the fuck, you boss moving, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit was funny. Like,
I only get 12 checks for the year.
Yes, but they about to be fat, you know what I'm saying? And he was out, when he was in because we are all from Colorado, so when he was in Kansas, he was there because that's where my nephew was. Unfortunate circumstances had taken place for him not to be able to be a part of. But we are very thankful for our sister who made sure that our nephew was very active in his life before he passed. So we got to see him. And she's still to this day
make sure that
will
she drives here
the fuck up with our nephew, so that way we can have a relationship with him. So Ariana, we greatly appreciate you. We'll always appreciate you, and I think that is a big factor in our healing process because we still
get to have that
and
connection with him, right? And
Both
then our genes are so strong. Like my kids look just like, it's just so crazy, your family line, and to know that like even though we may have not always been as close as we wanted to be in certain seasons of our life, like I'll always remember my brother living with us in Parker for a spell, and
let me just say on how, like we were talking earlier about how normally siblings aren't as close when they aren't from the mom. Normally it's the mom's kids that are the closest, but us being our father's children and all having separate mothers, aside from, you know, a few of us, I really give it to my mom and Jamarius's mom for making it their business to make sure that we had that relationship.
Right, and it's something that you saw was normal, so now you do that for your kids.
Yeah, because, you know, Amani's up there right now.
So close with them.
Amani's up there right now with her dad. You know
and
what I'm
like,
saying?
You weren't even like that like 4 years ago.
Right, like, fuck them kids.
I don't know if you have extra siblings.
But, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it definitely put something into perspective for me as like, nah, these kids have to know each other and have that bond and have that relationship, because had Nobi not drove out here to drop his ass off every other summer or let us come up here when they lived in Springs, I wouldn't have known my brother as much as I had the time that I did get. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I'm very grateful being the eldest sibling that I did have that time with him. And, you know, he made sure he pulled up too.
All the time.
Like,
he would come visit.
He would pull up with his hoes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They be beefing. I'm like, I remember when he dropped his girlfriend off, I was like, brother, you gotta go pick her back up. Like,
he didn't give a fuck.
She ain't from Colorado. He's like, nah, I was supposed to take you to the mall. But one of my best memories with him is when he came to visit, just one pop-up, and he just told me he was proud of me, you know? And, like, you need that from your bigger siblings sometimes. Even the ones that you, like, feel like, I'm like, you don't even see me. You don't even know what I'll be doing. I was in high school or something.
Right.
But he was just, like, just graduating as a teen mom was one of the hardest things I literally ever did. And to know that, like, my older siblings didn't put me in a corner or shun me or nothing. Like, she was one of the first people that I told. I'm like, please don't tell mom and dad. Like, oh my god. And to think that I thought my brother.
STD so hard in my life.
It was
don't wish that
crazy,
on her. But nigga.
They were close, and even just I looked at pictures of Silas and Pawnee babies, dude, in that house on Fear Now. Like, our brother always popped up, and that was one of the things. Like, if we talked bad about our dad, he was in your inbox quick, like, bro, that's our daddy.
Fix it.
You need to just
fix
do
it.
better.
You only get one dad.
Yeah,
you only get one dad,
amazing.
and that was just his role as our big brother. He always kept us all in line. And I know when I was feeling any kind of way, I can hit him up and he would reassure me, like, you're on the right path. Yeah. No matter if $2 is better. Like, you doing
you're right.
Like, you're right. And like, I can't be any more thankful. Even in his, like, for so long. Well, not even so long, because she came relatively quick. But for that short period of time that felt like a long time, mad. I was just like, ugh, nigga, you left me to do this. Like, you left this burden on me of the older sibling. Like, now I'm that sibling. Like,
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't want to talk to dad neither, so I can't be that. I can't be that motivational sister.
But we're balanced.
But we literally.
He instilled it in all of us, so when she doesn't feel like talking to dad, I'm talking to dad. Because it used to be like, if she wasn't talking to dad, girl, nobody was talking to dad. Like,
he used to be like, what better be all of y'all? What better be? I don't know what's going on. Like, y'all done had a group text.
But now, like, they just be going through it, and dad, I'm like, Dad, give him some grace. And I'm like, guys, give dad some grace. And I'm like, eventually y'all will meet each other in the middle and it'll be all right.
But I really think that that Jamarius's his murder definitely took a toll on us as a family to really appreciate that we don't know how much time we have. So we're more careful, I feel like, with what we say. Is it stopped?
No, so you have 2 minutes.
I think we're just more careful with
we used to cut our father pretty deep with our words.
And he used to cut too.
Yeah, absolutely. But I just had a really good conversation with him, and he just was able to do all these things we just said and like confirm it for us that we're not like, because I think as kids sometimes we try to figure out our parents and we come up with these own versions of them. We just real good, so we be close, right on the right track. Like, this is what's wrong with our dad. He got childhood trauma. But he was like, I really understand, like, your brother's death impact, like, I had to change, and I'm so sorry. And he's reflected through the last 4 years, and for him to be like, I'm sorry for, you know, any way that I thought that any way I talked to you, anything I thought you accepted.
And let me just say that don't let your fuck ups in life skip you and hit your kids to where it's that slap in the face of reality that you need. No parent should bury their child.
No.
I don't give a fuck how old you are. You should not bury your child. So with that being said, you got to be mindful of the things that you do in life, because it can skip you and hit your children. And it can make you hurt so deeply. Unfortunately, the pain that our father feels is a pain no parent should feel.
And then it's hard because as a parent if you are a parent watching this who has had to unfortunately bury one of your kids and you had multiple kids, I just want to invite you to maybe check on your kid who is living today and just let them know that you love them and that, you know, that you're there for them, because sometimes that's all we needed from our father too, is to recognize that he wasn't the only one who experienced the loss. Right. And that was very helpful for us.
Right. Because we all dealt with it in a certain way, but acknowledging the fact that my pain is different from yours.
Right.
Because I experienced something longer with him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So some days that I'm like having a whole meltdown, you may not understand it because it may be a specific, you know what I'm saying?
It's a
like
different feeling for
but
me.
Like, and then for a father's point of view, but I feel like he definitely take time to check on your other children, especially with the loss of a sibling, because that cuts deep.
Absolutely. And you heal forever. Like, you're literally just trying to learn how to live without them every single day for the rest of your life. And sometimes when it cuts deeper when, you know, you realize that we get to spend these moments with our children, but it hurts sometimes to think about that my nephew doesn't get that from both of his parents because somebody robbed that from him. So, and
he was very active in his life, even when I catch myself being selfish about like, dang, like my brother would be pulling up on me right now because it's that time of the year. Like, I want him to see my house and my daughter, and you know what I'm saying? And then I think about Silas, like, well, how does he feel? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got to be empathetic with all of your family, like not even just some of your family. Everybody needs to be empathized with, as far as I wonder how this is affecting them in their day to day. You know what I'm saying? Because there's days in here that I wake up and I literally just like have a whole breakdown. And, you know, Dom, luckily I have him to, you know, your brother, like, you know what I'm saying? And then his fucking cousin ended up dying a few months before, you know.
Yeah, it was really
so it's just a lot, you know what I'm saying? But just being there for each other, you know what I'm saying? And understanding that life has got to go on, unfortunately, but don't let that loved one die in vain.
Yeah.
Like, I made sure to change all of my information to J-Mo's sister. So when somebody asks me, like, who's J-Mo? I tell them who J-Mo is. That's my brother.
awesome.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even just seeing it today on how like the girl was like J-Mo's sister always gonna snap on my nails. Like that shit was dope to me. Like it said J-Mo's sister is gonna snap. Like who's that? Like what?
Right.
It doesn't say Nails by T Lady. It doesn't say Beauty by Teray. Nah, I'm Jamari's sister.
Yeah, he'd be doing the same thing if he was here. But okay, you guys. So we want to wrap this up for you. We just want you to know the pivotal things of just growing through experiencing such active loss, especially when it is, you know, he didn't just have a fucking heart attack. Our brother was murdered. So that's something that I personally still deal with that reality to this day. When I like say it out loud like that, I'm like, holy shit, girl. Like,
Yeah, I don't ever say that. Like my brother died.
you
I say
feeling
he was
okay?
murdered. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm usually like my brother died. See, no opposites, but we all right. Like we know we're all right. We check in with each other. I pay attention to like my intuition, feelings. I feel the Holy Spirit for me when it's just like, all right, you need to check on your sister or something, right? You know, so we're pretty good with each other. Yeah,
yeah. When it's needed, it's like I needed that today for my sister.
right.
But I feel like we are making him proud. I feel like he is definitely our guardian angel for sure. That's making so much pivotal things happen in our life for us, individually, collectively, our own families, whatever the case may have you. But
Keep working hard up there. Right. So that's really what gets me through when I'm having a hard day. I'm like, he's with God though, like in heaven. Like that is the goal. He just got to go sooner than we all would have liked before, of course, our parents and his mom. But you know, we're doing the best that we can. I'm proud of our dad. He's doing the best that he can. I'm proud of Savon doing the best that he can. Like everybody, it seems like it was the perfect time to do this video because everybody's not like collectively falling the fuck apart.
right,
we actually are like
we are actually all doing good. And
all right, you guys, I want to wrap this up for you. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Sits with Sid. I look forward to making many more videos for you guys. I hope that this was helpful. If you're grieving the loss of a sibling, please know that you can always message me if you're having a hard day. I know that grief has no time limit. And every day we're just doing that the best that we can. So comment below, make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you have any ideas on conversations you want to hear coming up, maybe HS, maybe mom talk, anything, I am open to hear it. So make sure you leave your thoughts in your comments below. I love you guys. Have a good day. Bye.